Hello again, this is UML Operator. All right, in this session, we're going to pick up where we left off in part 1 of RAS Check Dependencies. And I'm not going to explain the project. It's the same project that we had in the previous session. We have applications, realizing 4 features. We have scope, where the 4 features are realizing 2 requirements. At this particular juncture, we're also realizing a use case out of package C. So we've got package A, package B, package C. Over in our reusable asset service repository, we have an empty storage area for a project. So a project. And we've created an empty storage area for a project delivery. As you will see in this demonstration, a project delivery is for modelers to store and reuse or version their packages individually, any of the things they're working on. A project storage area is for project management, scrum masters who are delivering a project. Now, our project being delivered using scaled agile, safe, is using program increments, PIs. And so the program manager group, the delivery stakeholders, the train masters, they're going to be delivering the entire project, while the individual modelers are working on their individual packages. So applications may be worked by solution architects, enterprise architects. Your scope requirements may be worked by requirements engineers or other stakeholders responsible for delivery, working with the client stakeholders. And the use cases may be worked by the same stakeholders or modelers that are working on scope, but working directly with the sponsors or project delivery clients. So the strategy here is going to be agile, scaled agile for the most part, and that's how it's going to be managed in our reusable asset service repository under storage for a project. Now, while nothing's been put or registered into RAS yet on the project for a project, if we hit Control-Alt-B and look at the baselines, you can see that it's gone through 3 iterations. It's currently on version 0.3. We're going to show differences, and you can see in this particular case, there's been some changes to the application owners between version 0.3. Let's look at version 0.2, and it's continued to progress up to this point and has not been versioned yet, is what I want to say, but it hasn't been baselined yet within this Sparx repository, and we're going to do that right now. So we're going to click New Baseline. This is going to be 0.4. This is the versioning strategy I use. Major is 0 at this point. Minor is 0.4. We have 2 placeholders that won't go beyond 0.99 or 0.99. All right, we're going to go ahead and accept the notes that are in here. You may want to put like whoever the stakeholder was, UMLO or PM or what have you. And you can now see that 0.4 has been baselined in the repository. The next thing that I normally do or ask stakeholders to do is to export this to a repository will be kept. This is the naming convention we use. It's the title of the parent project, the version, in this case 0.4, and then we're using calendar versioning at the end. So whatever the date is, and you can certainly put more for this file name. We're going to go ahead and hit save. And now we not only have this backed up in a baseline, but we also have it backed up within our XML repository for this project. All right, so we're in our RAS repository here. We're on the right storage for a project. And whoever the lead stakeholder is for managing these registrations, the first thing they're going to do is Control-Alt-B. They're going to show differences to make sure they have the freshest version. So it's looking across all these child packages and nothing has been done before this baseline. We're over in the repository. We're going to select a project We're going to select register, and this is going to use the same version as the baseline. All right, so 04, and then what we're going to do is populate comments and notes, and we're going to register this. All right, so we're 04, a project registration, and we have some very brief notes. Try not to type War and Peace in here, maybe a paragraph long to explain, but that's all we're going to do in this demonstration. We're going to check dependencies. We're using complete, not normative or package. We're using complete. That's what we're focused on. So when we selected it, it went through and ran its processing. It's ready to go. There's no external dependencies, and we're going to go ahead and hit register. All right, this is now registered at 04. We can look at the metadata that we put in. We can see that the content has 4 diagrams, one being the cover page, the other being the other diagrams for the individual packages, and then all of the elements, what type elements they are, their GUIDs, global unique IDs, the fact that they are elements, these are diagrams. So this is now registered. So the project lead stakeholders come in every once in a while to a delivery exercise. They're going to do Control, Alt, and B. The last version was 04, date and time. They're going to show the difference. And what they can see is that the other stakeholders continue to work their particular responsibilities. So you can see 2 new features were added, new scope, a new use case was added. Green means new. This purple or dark blue means that there was a change made. And you can drill down further, look at realization links, source and target from feature to requirement, etc. So they're able to go through and look at what changes or progress has been made across a project. During this period of time, the stakeholders, while they're working together, want to produce some reuse between their particular delivery exercises. So in the application, stakeholder or modeler is going to come into RAS. They have their own storage area. We want to keep a project delivery, it's empty at this point, separate from the other project because they may be following different methodologies for their roles and responsibilities. Typically what we do or ask is that the individual modeler stakeholders register their packages in this repository. It'll be part of the project planner communication plan. And what we're going to do is we're going to register applications or package A. We're going to go ahead and register it. In this case, normally use package dependency import for the individual packages. So we're going to go ahead and select that, and you can see that it's ready to go. It didn't see anything that it needed to be concerned about. And we're going to use the same version that we had for this particular package A. Now, if you don't remember it, you're just going to go ahead and hit close and cancel. You're going to go here, Control, Alt, and B, and we're going to see it is 02. We're going to check. There's changes that have been made. They're going to need to run another baseline, or at least I would. All right. So we're going to come in here. We're going to faster actually use this tool right here to bring back our dialog box. We're going to create a new baseline, 03, date and time. That's all I'm going to put in for this demonstration. We're going to go ahead and hit close. So we're at 03. So over in RAS, when they go to register this, and again, they're going to check if there's a time difference between them when they did that. The other one, they're going to show differences. There's no differences made to this model. Back over in RAS, we're going to register A, select this, and this is what? 0.03. We'll go ahead and populate comments and some brief notes, and then we're going to register this. We're on package dependencies. We got everything populated. We're going to hit register. There we go. Hit OK, and it is done. We can check our content. Our models are in there at this particular version, and 2 class elements. Those are what's registered. So again, don't be confused when you're looking at it. These elements are not in RAS. The only reason they see them in their completeness is because they're in the project. So these are being referenced from the project. We're using package dependencies, which is package A. It's connectors from the source to its target, where its target is going to show up as boundaries or placeholders as we're bringing all of these in, as you saw in the previous video. Stakeholder for scope, package B does the same thing. They're using check dependencies 03. So when they come up here, they're going to check dependencies, ready to go, populate the information. They hit registry, and now scope B, package B, is now in RAS. And the stakeholder for package C use cases did the same thing. They registered their package in the package delivery storage versus a project storage. All right, let's flip over to a Sparx project called simply new project. And this is a blank project. There is nothing in it. And the project program, whoever the lead stakeholder is for this delivery exercise, is going to log into RAS. They're going to go to publish, RAS, log into the same repository they've been given to work in. They're going to go down to a project. They see that a project at 04 has been registered and ready for them to reuse. So they're going to bring it in under the root folder model. They're going to select import, package, and dependencies. So there we go. Now they have the entire project in here, but it's missing the most recent updates because we don't see use case 2. And there's some other things that need to be updated that aren't in this version. Now they could go to RAS if they're authorized. They could go to a project delivery and bring in what they've been told by these stakeholders are their latest versions. They could do that. However, that's not the practice I would do. Instead, what I would do is send that lead stakeholder back over to the originating repository for this project material. I would have them do a difference, Control Alt and B. Last version was 04, show difference, and they can see some changes have been made. Right? So new features were added, a new use case was added, some diagram visuals were changed. This was pretty much just geometry, and we could drill down into see what other changes. So what they're going to want to do is version 05 or baseline 05 in this repository. We're going to create a new baseline 0.05. And then again, I'm just going to accept the notes. They could put UMLO, whoever the stakeholder is, and their UUID or acronym for their title, whatever your practice you want to follow. So now we have 05. No other changes in any of these other packages at this time. They're going to come over to RAS, do a refresh, and they're going to register 05. Same baseline version over here, so it doesn't get confusing or conflicting. They're going to register a project now in RAS. So they've put in 05, put in some comments explaining what this registration is, and maybe some notes. All right, come up here to check dependencies. They're not using package dependency import. They're using complete, and we're ready to go. We're going to go ahead and select register. All right. And we now have 05 registered in RAS. So 04 is still there, 05. Here's our diagrams, here's our elements, and their global unique IDs. All right, we're going to flip back over to our new project instance. We're going to make sure we're in the right storage area for a project. 04, we're going to do a refresh. We see 05. We can certainly go reflect back on 04, but we're going to use 05. We're on the parent package, which is a root node called model, and we're going to import this project and this registered project. It's going to say, hey, anything you've done, if you didn't version it, it's going to be wiped out. We don't care. And we're going to hit yes. And now we have the latest version. We've got our 5 and 6 feature, we have our additional use case, and we have all of our models. This has features in it. There we go. It was complete and everything came in nice and neat. Now this stakeholder at any point can, from this project instance, if they're authorized, can go over to RAS. They can go down into a project delivery and see what the delivery teams are working on, and they can do a compare from here. So we're going to take package B for scope, and we're going to compare package in model. Yes, please go ahead and do that. No changes. So this is a place where they can go from a separate project and actually monitor what's going on over in the other effort. So that lead project delivery person, project manager, program manager, scrum master, whatever you're going to give that lead, title to, they're coming over in their project to RAS. They're going to run a refresh and they see that a new version of scope has been added. They're going to do a compare. They're going to right click on it, compare with package in model. And when they hit OK, they're going to see some red in this case means, oh, I don't have this. They're going to go to scope and they're going to see, I don't have use case 2 in my model. If I go to scope, I don't have those changes that are in here. This is currently version 3. This in RAS says that it's version 4. Now, again, I probably would tell them to go back to the project, update the complete project, but they could import, if allowed, from this particular storage area. Let's go ahead and do that. So they're on package B in RAS. They're going to bring it into their project for package B scope, and they're simply going to hit import. Now, there's nothing in the notes that states this was brought in package dependency or anything like that. So they don't know what they're going to step on over here. If it was brought in under complete, it could bring in changes from other packages that they really don't want to do. That's why I usually say that the practice for the individual modelers is package dependency import. And if you don't understand what that is, watch the previous video and I explain it in detail there. So what we're going to do is we're going to import package B, package and dependencies, right? And I'm going to get this warning. I'm going to overwrite. I'm going to hit yes. And now I have the use case in here in the model. I can come in, I can do a compare from the registry. Now let's do a compare to our project. No differences, we're in sync, all right? How about to see, compare, there's changes. That's only because use case 2 had realization from the requirement done by that other modeler to their use case. So that's the only change that took place there. And they could certainly do a compare on applications, but I'm not going to do that at this moment. But let's go back to the storage folder they should be working from. Let's do a compare from 0.5 to what's now in the new project instance. So we're going to right click on it, compare, yes. And here we see that scope B has some changes in it, all right? Realization added to a use case and scope, some features, not sure what changed, looks like all geometry. Use case was added. This is just showing that the use case was added to the diagram at this point. So, and you can go across and look at other changes. In use case, you can see that it was added, realization association was added from requirement 1 to the use case. So these are the changes. So there's changes between the model over here in browser, and baselines. These aren't in the baseline. They're not there. I can click on each one of them. They're not in the baseline. So this is why I normally ask that whoever the lead project manager is managing this project, they only work from their own storage area. Don't try to get fancy and go to other people's storage areas because you're not sure these are stable. They could be deleted, they could be replaced. So you let the project manager, we're going to swing back over to our project instance. You're going to let the project manager, we're going to go to project, manage their versions, their content, and their information. In addition, they may not be using the major minor versioning that we have here. They may be bringing these in as program increments like PI1, Release 1, or other versioning schemes. Now, in this particular case, we've directed everyone to use major minor. In this case, minor is 05. So they should have actually gone back to the project and updated it and then updated it in this storage area and not do it the way coming from other delivery stakeholders, because this is just like a development environment in code. So any of you that are developers understand that, you don't release from your development environment. You release from your staging environment or your production environment into whatever your production target is. So the same concepts, be safe, understand what you're doing, make sure you're in sync with the actual delivery, going through the approval processes and practices that you have for your delivery team or teams. All right, that concludes this session. It also concludes our two-part series on RAS Check Dependencies and how to use RAS and versioning together so that you're most effective and efficient in delivery. So please leave comments down below, good or bad. Post questions down there. Let me know where you are, what you think about our video series so far. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks again for watching. Until then, happy modeling.